I'm Saturday hauling for you guys today, and I'm going to go ahead and start off with a few repurchases. I did get two fresh Sun Bum Mineral SPF 30 lip balms. This is primarily my SPF lip balm for when I'm outside. It's a mineral SPF, so it doesn't taste. I think I elaborated a little bit on lip balms and SPF, I think, in last week's video. This guy still remains my favorite lip balm with SPF. So again, that's the Sun Bum Mineral Sunscreen with SPF 30. It has a slight white cast, not a ton though for a mineral sunscreen. It's nice and hydrating, and I reapply it quite frequently when I'm outside, so it does kind of gunk up in the middle of my mouth, but it's like not a big deal. I just wipe it off. So I did get two more of those because, like I said, they either expire or I lose them, and I wanted to get some fresh ones. And then I also got another one of the Bare Minerals Bare Pro 24-hour performance wear liquid foundation with SPF 20, and the shade that I wear is Flax 9.5. This is the shade I wear primarily. I do have another shade that's a little bit deeper that I maybe will mix it with kind of more in like the summer, but I went through my whole bottle of it, so I was out, so I got another one. And this guy here is made in the USA, and it's a 1 fluid ounce glass bottle that it comes in. And this foundation, for me, out of like the complexion products that I primarily wear, it's a nice long wearing foundation with a more full coverage if you compare it to the number 7. I've got number 7 on today because I will be spending a substantial amount of time outside, and that's got the highest SPF in it with the SPF 50. But I like this one for almost like a little bit more polished look, a little bit more full coverage, because it wears nice and it looks really nice on the skin. So I'm really surprised, and I think I've said this before, that more people don't love this foundation, because I have tried quite a few liquid foundations in my day, and this is just really nice. So anyway, I ran out of mine, so I got another one. Again, my shade is Flax 9.5. And then I saw these new calligraphy lip stains from Stila. There's 0.022 fluid ounces of product in here, which is just a little tiny bit, and it's made in Korea. And I got the shade Ariana. So it's this product. I think I got the box upside down. This product right here. And again, I got the shade Ariana. I'd swatched a couple of these on my hand inside of Ulta and then kind of resumed shopping and stuff. And I just really liked the staining of this particular color. And I thought it would be a good one to like line and fill in my lips and then put a lipstick over the top. And then when kind of your lipstick wears off, you'd still have some staining lip liner and color on your lips. And it does do that, but it's got a felt tip applicator. And it does a good job of lining. There's nothing wrong with the actual applicator, like the style of it or anything like that. But I have got to put it back in the cap and shake it up and put it back in the cap and shake it up because not enough product goes on there. And then I have to let the first swipe kind of do its staining thing and then go back over it to get more opacity, because it doesn't go on quite evenly. And then I did notice, because I have this on underneath the lipstick that I have on today, which is MAC's Creme de Nude, which is one of my all-time faves. And you can see the lip line of it like a light orange shade there. And if I wipe it off, there's just the slightest bit of stain. So the lipstick does tend to lift a little bit of the staining that I've got from the product, but the lipstick doesn't sit super nicely over the top of it. And again, because of that felt tip applicator and there's just not enough product held in it, you just really have to go back in the product and try to get more saturation. So I'll swatch it for you for what it's worth. I think you can even see right there, it just not a lot of product comes out. So it's one of those problems that I typically have with felt liner style products, and this one's no different. So again, I like that staining effect. I'll wipe this off so you can kind of see the stain that the shade Ariana gives. I love the way that that looks, but it is a little bit of a finicky kind of product to work with, both in terms of application, even application, and then also getting that product on, because it's hard with that felt tip applicator. It just doesn't house enough product. It's not as fluid. And I've tried it a couple times thinking that maybe it'll wake up the applicator or something like that, and it just doesn't. It's kind of the same every time. The strongest that it had gone on for me was when I first used it, and it seems like the more that I use it, the less and less product goes on the tip. So anyway, that's the Stila Calligraphy Lip Stain in the shade Ariana. This is what the packaging looks like, again, with that felt tip. And speaking about felt tip liners, I went out on a limb to try a felt tipped eyeliner. I just loved the color. I loved the claims. And I thought, well, maybe it'll glide on nice with a nice fluid application, which is one of the things that felt tip liners for me just never do. And for whatever reason, I was hopeful with this product, so I got it. It's the Lancome Idole Liner, Ultra Precise Waterproof Liner in the shade number 3, Aegean Blue, which is a matte liner. There's 0.033 fluid ounces in this one. And this guy here is made in Germany. So this is the packaging. This is a newer liner product as well. And I believe it comes in a black and a brown. So I got the blue one. Again, the color is so pretty. And it's not waterproof for starters. My eyes water like a banshee, right? So I had it winged out one day and it will smudge on me. So it's not exactly waterproof for me. It's got a large kind of felt tip applicator. The color is beautiful. When I go to use it, like the first time I used it, again, it went on really strong, but I was able to get just a thin line, and then I already had to put the applicator back in the cap and shake it up to try to get that product out. And that wasn't even me trying to do my thicker winged liner. So the first time that I'd used this, it took a hot minute to get the shape and everything, just because that felt tip doesn't house enough product to get an even application smoothly with the crisp lines. So I'm pretty sad about that, because again, this color is really pretty. And if I want something like this, I can use a cake liner, and I consider this one to be in that same category because this isn't waterproof. It smudges the same way as a cake liner is, and I got this in hopes that it would be a waterproof liner that wouldn't smudge when my eyes water when I'm outside, and it's not for me. So I can just use a more fluid cake liner with this color, because I've got several with this really pretty blue shade. I actually was gonna attempt to wear this shade with my eye look today because I thought it would look really pretty, and it was just, I was like, cap in, shake up, try to put some more on, go over it. It was just the whole situation, and then I kind of got frustrated and just went over it with black. So I'm still not a big fan of the felt tip liner applicators. I was hopeful, and the color is really beautiful, so that is unfortunate. I mean, if you like the finest, thinnest of lines on your lash line and you don't have like eyeshadow on, it might work really well for you. But I have eyeshadow on my lids when I put on the eyeliner. I have watery eyes, it's not waterproof, and I do wear a pretty thick winged liner because of my hooded lids. So I also picked up the new Natasha Denona High Glam Concealer. It's a brightening and hydrating crease proof serum concealer, which serum concealers always get me. The shade that I got is RN1, which is the lightest with the rosy undertones. There's 0.236 fluid ounces of product in here. And this one is made in Italy. So this is the box packaging. And this is actually the concealer that I have got on underneath my eyes today, kind of in that area. And I like the formula. It feels really light. It doesn't crease on me after I set it. It looks nice underneath the eyes, but I think it's just too light for me, which is, well, what, right? And it's so hard sometimes, like when you look at the swatches online, I think it's going to be the perfect shade, and it'll either be the lightest rosy tone is a little bit too dark, or it's a little bit too light. So I think, because I do like the formula, I think I'm going to try the next rosy shade down, and probably mixing those two shades is going to be kind of my perfect shade, is what I'm guessing. But it's got like a rubberized or a soft matte textured lid on it. Really pretty packaging. It feels nice and substantial. And then this is what the doe foot looks like. So I'm quite bright underneath the eyes today because, again, I think this is just a little bit light, so you can see it a little bit more on the skin as opposed to if it was closer to my skin tone. It's got a pretty, full coverage. I would say it's medium full buildable. Like, you could probably get some pretty serious business going on. And it is thin. It's got a nice thin serum-y consistency with that high coverage. So again, this is the shade RN1. And like I said, it blended out nicely, but because it's so full coverage, I had to work a little bit more with the blending because it's full coverage and it's a little bit too light. But let me swatch it next to the Urban Decay Stay Naked Quickie in 10 CP, which is the lightest cool undertone in this concealer, which this is one of my favorites currently. Just so you can kind of see the difference there if it's helpful. There's a little bit more pink in the Urban Decay one. And then I'll also swatch it next to the Tarte Shape Tape Corrector in pink. Just trying to, you know, give you guys the best idea of the tones. Blend that one out too. So yeah, those definitely both, those two have, their Nikkei and the Tarte have got more pink in it. This one, next to those two, really doesn't have a ton of pink in it for being the rosy undertone, but it doesn't pull yellow on me, so that's good. I'm going to try it out. I think I'm going to get the next rosy shade down from this one, because I think, again, mixing them might be my perfect shade. But so that's the new Natasha Denona High Glam Concealer in RN1 right there. And I do, again, have that underneath my eyes today. I also picked up one of the new L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear Blushes. I think they came out with 4 or 5 of these. And the shade that I got is number 5, Fearless Coral. So it's this guy right here. There's a total of 0.31 ounces of product, or 9 grams, which is a substantial amount of product, especially for how pigmented this product is. And this guy here is made in the USA and or imported ingredients, it says on the back. So you flip it open. It's kind of the same style packaging as like the bronzers and stuff. And the bottom flips up and there's a mirror under there. I thought that there was a sponge in there, but maybe I'm just making that up. But there is a mirror on the bottom of the blush. And this is the blush that I have got on my cheeks today. It's a really soft matte color. It's really, really pigmented. It does blend out pretty good. I noticed that if I've got a little bit of drier spot or something, it's a little bit harder to get it to adhere if I don't have more hydration in a particular area on my face. But other than that, it's a really pretty color, and it reminds me of the Haus Labs blush in Watermelon, which I took out so I can swatch them next to each other. Yeah, Watermelon Bliss. Watermelon Bliss is a little bit more red in comparison, but they're not too far off if you like blend them out. So that's Haus Labs Watermelon Bliss right there next to the L'Oreal Infallible in the shade Fearless Coral. And I just seen on Sephora on the Haus Labs blushes, all of a sudden it says limited edition on them, and I'm like, but why would you do that though? Everybody loves them. So I don't know if they're gonna be gone after they sell them out or what's going on with that limited edition situation, but I also grabbed a couple products from the Essence and the Lion King collection. I'm kind of kicking myself that I didn't buy the Simba blush, which is now I think sold out, and then another one of the eyeshadow palettes because the packaging is really cute. I am a big fan of the Lion King, so that's primarily why I wanted these products, but the actual products are pretty nice. So the blush that I got is the one that has got Nala on the front, and this guy here is made in the PRC, and there's a total of 0.31 ounces of product in this guy as well, which is a lot of product that you're getting. It's a lighter weight cardboard, but it's got that pretty print on the front, and then you got a mirror, and here is your blush. So I've worn it quite a few times, so the little embossing is kind of going away, but it's a really soft matte neutral kind of pinky toned blush, and very, very easy to wear, and I think it's a really pretty one going into the summertime. So again, yeah, I was like, oh, I should have grabbed the Simba one too. So that is the Essence number 2. It's called Can You Feel the Love Tonight blush right there. And the palette that I grabbed is the number 3 Dream Big Little One palette. This is also made in the PRC, and this one's got Mufasa and Simba on the front. And there's a total of 0.39 ounces of product across 14 shades. And it is a standalone palette for me. It's got a good array of both matte and shimmers ranging from light to dark in there. And I was able to get a really pretty look out of this palette. The mattes are quite pigmented and soft, and they blend really well. The shimmers have got quite a bit of binder in them, so you do have to really wiggle like a stiffer flat shader in there to pick up that product and get it on. But it's got a really pretty sheen to it. You just kind of have to work with that formula a little bit. So let me go ahead and give you guys some swatches. There was some cute embossing in some of the pans in here too. I think the eyeshadow palettes are still available on Ulta. I'm tempted by one of the other ones, but And then these next ones. Yeah, it's like you can feel some silicone binders in those shimmers. And then these next ones. And then these last two shades. So that guy right there, again, is the Essence Dream Big Little One number 3 eyeshadow palette right there. I also picked up the Colourpop Super Shock highlighter in the shade Lav Dreams, which is from like a lavender collection that they recently came out with. So there's 0.28 ounces of product in here. This is in their bigger compacts, and Colourpop products are made in the USA. So this is what the box looks like. I'm tempted to get the eyeshadow palette too because there's like such cool tone lavenders, but I haven't yet. But I love cool tone lavenders. And this is one of the highlighters that I have on today. I like to use the Super Shock formulas both as toppers and then also as bases for highlighters that are harder to stick to my drier skin type. So today I used it as a base, and then to just kind of warm it up a little bit, I put the Charlotte Tilbury highlighter. I think it was called Champagne Glow, this guy right here, over the top of it. So that's primarily the highlight on my face. So the compacts, these ones here, man, I have a hard time opening them. Like I have to like wedge a nail in there to kind of get it open. So this is what it looks like. It was like this nice marbleized finish in there, but I've worn this quite a few times since I've gotten it, so I've kind of messed it up, but it's a really pretty icy lavender. And again, it is that Super Shock formula, so it's kind of got some sponginess to it. And it's just really, really beautiful. Yeah, I don't know. I might pick up the eyeshadow palette too, but that is from Colourpop. It's the Lav Dreams Super Shock highlighter right there. Also at Ulta from Colourpop, I got the Heavy Petal Pressed Powder palette. And I originally wasn't going to like get this when I seen it launch online, and then I seen it in the store and I was like, that's really pretty. So I picked it up. It's this guy right here. It's a couple collections ago at this point. So there's a total of 0.42 ounces of product across 12 shades in this guy. And these are the bigger pans that are in this palette, and they're also magnetized as well. And there is one pressed glitter in there, which is this guy right here. But their more recent glitters have got like some pigmentation to them and a really good base. So they come off not as like flaky and like messy for a pressed glitter. Although again, pressed glitters aren't my favorite, but they do a pretty good job of a pressed glitter. And I wore this. This is a standalone for me. And there's something about this purpley light shade that looks like ultraviolet-y on the lid that's just absolutely stunning. I loved the look that I got out of this eyeshadow palette. I've got a couple orders coming in from Colourpop too. They restocked the Aurora palette, which I was so excited about. So I can't wait to get that guy. And I got a couple other ones too. See, even like on my skin, that looks like, I don't know, it looks like UV or something. And then this bottom row. And here's that pressed glitter. Everything else is a powder in here. So that guy right there is the Colourpop Heavy Petal eyeshadow palette. Also from my online order at Ulta, I got a couple more MAC products. I got one of their new Skin Finish Sunstruck Radiant Bronzers, and I got the shade Radiant Light Rosy. There's 0.28 ounces or 8 grams of product in here. And this guy is made in the USA. So this is the box packaging. And this is the bronzer that I've got on my face today. And I've been wearing it pretty substantially. I would have been wearing it even more, but I was trying so hard to use up my Tom Ford Terra bronzer, which I've had for years. And I had a substantial pan on it. And I was like, just hit it and use it up. So I actually did that 2 days ago. I used up my Tom Ford Terra bronzer, like the big one. It only took like, I don't know, 8 years. Anyway, this is the MAC, again, Radiant Light Rosy Skin Finish Bronzer right here. It's got a bit of a sheen, but it's not like super sparkly. It's very pigmented and it blends out beautifully. I think I'm going to check out, since the Ulta that I go to locally, or either online, I don't know. I kind of want to get the matte version with the rosy undertone as well, because this is such a pretty tone. And more brands are starting to do that rosy tone of a bronzer, which I love, because I have got rosy undertones, and like there's something just really flattering about a rosy bronze, like sunburnt bronze on my particular skin type. So this is super pretty. The packaging has like a textured kind of lid to it, which I also quite like. Yeah, so again, that's the MAC Radiant Light Rosy Skin Finish Bronzer right there. I also grabbed another one of their new 6-pan palettes. So this is the Connect in Color Eyeshadow Palette. 6 shades, a total of 0.22 ounces of product. And this is the palette called Bronze Influence. I just really liked the color story. So this is the box packaging. And this one here is also made in the USA. And this guy here isn't a standalone for me. I was really hoping that kind of this light pewter shade was going to be light enough, but it's not. So I do have to bring in something else for how I like to do my shadow with this guy. But this new MAC shadow formula is really nice. Like, there's nothing super revolutionary in terms of the finishes or the colors, but the formula is very nice. Like, it's definitely an improvement for MAC. This one's got 2 matte shadows, which are these guys right here. So let's keep swatching. I'll swatch these up high so I can fit the other 12-pan that I got on there. And then these two. Let me grab a little bit of this lighter shade again. Didn't swatch super well, but really pretty color story. I was just hoping that would be just a little bit more brighter and punchier than it is. So I had like this really cute 6-pan all-in-one. I would have loved if MAC would have made these magnetized. Just like, how cute to have a little 6-pan palette like this, you know? That cute imagery on there. So that guy there is the MAC Connecting Color Bronze Influence 6-pan palette right there. And then I also got the Future Flame Connect in Color 12-pan palette. This guy's got a total of 0.43 ounces of product across 12 shades, and this is also made in the USA. So that's the box packaging, and the actual packaging mimics it. And I really like their new kind of upgraded packaging as well. That's what the back looks like. And then you got your big mirror in there, and here are your 12 shades. This guy is a standalone for me. I got the prettiest looks out of this palette. Again, nothing, you know, super fancy in terms of the finishes and the shades, but the quality of the shadow is really nice. Like, kind of standard shimmer and mattes is what you'll get out of these palettes. Not like, you know, the multi-chromes and metallics and all that type of stuff. And then this middle row. The first time that I used this palette, I did just use this palette. And moving forward, I'm definitely going to mix in some of those like high shine multi-chrome type of shades, especially in the summer with like those reds. It's going to be really pretty. And then this bottom row. Yeah, I just doggone. I wish MAC would have made these magnetized. I have to re-swatch that light shade. I have product on my finger. Let's try that again. There, that's a little bit more accurate representation right there than that is. Yeah, really pretty palette there from MAC. And that is, again, the Future Flame 12 pan right there. And that's everything that I got in that I purchased this week. I did get in some really lovely PR packages. This first one is super exciting. It's from Oden's Eye. Today they launched a new collection of eyeshadow palettes, which I'll show you in a minute. But along with that collection, they brought out some jewelry. And each piece of jewelry comes in its own little individual kind of faux suede kind of pouch with a button on it. And this isn't really like my style of jewelry. I'm quite finicky when it comes to jewelry, but my coworker has two beautiful daughters, so I'm going to see if she would like to give this jewelry to them. So I'll just show you a couple of the pieces in there. Like, it feels like it's quality made, you know, but it's just not my style of jewelry. But again, like, it feels substantial. This one is quite cute, this one with the heart on it, and there's matching earrings to these pieces as well. This is probably my favorite necklace out of the bunch. Here's the matching bracelet kind of to that heart necklace, which this is pretty cute too. And then here are the matching earrings. These are actually pretty cool. Like, look at the hook on it. It almost has like a slight cuff to it. That is pretty cool, but I've got really metal sensitive ears, and primarily what I can leave in my ears without irritation is surgical steel. A lot of real quality precious metals even irritate my ears, so I get a little nervous to try to wear something like this right here, because again, I can only wear like even again precious metals in my ears for a couple hours before they start to irritate them. Otherwise, like I've got like, I think my tragus, I've got a hole here and a hole here, and I can leave in surgical steel like only to not get irritation. It's bizarre, but. And then they launched two new eyeshadow palettes, and both of them are gorgeous. I've been wearing both of these. I've got them I think two and a half weeks ago, and I've been primarily gravitating towards these palettes unless I had a new one. Like, I wore both of those MAC palettes, so kind of in between, but then I just want to use these Oden's Eye ones because they're so pretty. So this first one is the Jewels and Gem palette, and this is actually the palette that I've got on my eyes today. There is a pretty sleeve on it. The packaging itself, like the imagery, is just gorgeous. I love like the colorful theming of this, and this has got a total 0.52 ounces of product in it, and this guy here is made in China. So again, the sleeve mimics the palette. It's a cardboard packaging. It's got some texture to like the gems and stuff, and there's the back. It's just really, really beautiful. This one has got quite a few multi-dimensional shades. These two for sure are multi-chromed, and they're a little bit smoother, and then these ones are a little bit thicker foily kind of shades, but they're so pretty. This one I didn't have too many problems with, like these thicker kind of shades. I think there are like 4 of them like that. They went on pretty good for me, but there is I think there are 2 shades in the other palette that they're just, again, it's that binder. They're pretty thick with binder, but the pigment in there is just a stunning like shimmer. So hopefully you'll be able to see that in the swatches. And both of these are standalone palettes for me. I can wear them both, and the color combinations are just beautiful. They remind me of how much I loved those Christmas palettes. Not loved, I love those Christmas palettes that they did. They have some of the prettiest, most unique color stories, because you can just like pair anything and the looks come out super pretty. I've got this one on the lid. I got that one on the lid, never mind. But this is pretty too. I think I've worn every single shade in both of these palettes. Some of these like murky blues and like blue greens, they remind me of a palette that came out long ago from Mercier. It was like Mystic something or another. Granted, the quality of that palette was nowhere near this. Look at this. Oh, that's what I have on the lid, with a little bit of this guy. And I got this one. No. Yeah, this guy underneath the brow and on the inner portion of the lid. So pretty. Yeah, but I love that like murky kind of mystic color story. And then these last three. So like when you look at like this palette and then like the MAC shadows that I swatched, even though those MAC shadows are really pretty, they're more standard, you know what I mean? Where this has got some uniqueness and some oomph to it. And some of these like shimmer shades are so high shine and so beautiful. It's just stunning. Like they should be out on the website today. So that one there is the Jewels and Gem palette right there. And I've got it on my eyes today again. The other palette is called the Stone and Rock palette, and I love this color story too. It's pretty strong on greens. And this guy has got 0.56 ounces of product, so just a little bit more product, and this one is made in China as well. It's got a little bit deeper kind of jewel toned packaging compared to the other one. And then you've got your mirror in there. And then here are your shadows. They're so, so pretty. So this is the one that I was talking about. And I would say that for the most part, 4 shades, these two and these two, they've got quite a bit of binder in them. So you kind of have to wiggle your brush to pick up that product, but there's a lot of pigment and a lot of shine to them. So you kind of pack it on and then blend it out to get that really beautiful shift to it. But they are a little bit thicker of a formula. You can again tell that there's that binder in there. This one, this High Spirits shade, is one of those really, really smooth multi-chromes. It's like super beautiful. This is also a standalone for me, and I just love, absolutely love the color story. It's so pretty. And then these next ones, I was like torn trying to like decide which one of these I wanted to wear in today's video. They're just so beautiful. I'm telling you, Oden's Eyes palettes, they just have got it going on, man. Those mattes are really, really soft. I do tap my brush off when I use those to avoid getting some fallout. But if I do get a bit of fallout, it brushes off pretty easily. And then these next ones. Look at that. That's a multi-chrome, which it's very hard to, you know, get multi-chromes to show up on camera, but... And then these last 3. Just absolutely beautiful palettes from Oden's Eye. They're stunning. So that one right there, again, is their Stone and Rock shadow palette. Beautiful. They're both such beautiful palettes. Like I had a hard time like putting down the Christmas launches. Now I'm having a hard time putting down these launches. They're just so stunning. And an absolute huge thank you to Oden's Eye for sending over their latest launch. And then lastly, I got in another PR package from Mercier, which it was quite heavy, so I wasn't sure. I was like, maybe they sent me some of their body products because I had never tried their body stuff before. And that's what they sent over in a neroli scent. I'm all about a neroli. I was almost going to buy Tom Ford's neroli Portofino, and then I got a sample and I was like so excited. I put it on, wore it throughout the day. It only lasted like 2 or 3 hours on, and then it dissipated. And I'm like, for that kind of money, I had better smell neroli all day. Before I get into those products, I did want to mention Laura Mercier sent me over their Real Flawless Luminous Perfecting Press Powder as well, and I bought it prior to that, and it's a little bit too heavy, right, to set my foundation for kind of with that sheen. So what I did with it was used it as a finishing powder. So after all of my makeup was done, I took my big fluffy, this one in particular is a Chikuhodo powder brush, worked it in there and buffed it all over the skin. So similarly to how I use the Guerlain Meteorites. So with this one, it just provides a little bit more coverage when you do that. So if you even have like maybe your blush is a little bit too strong, or you want to like just tone down everything and make it look like one on your face. This type of powder that has a little bit of coverage to it's going to really blend everything together. And after I did it like that, I really like the powder using it like that, but I didn't, it was just too heavy for me for all the SPFs that I have on my face and stuff to use it as a setting powder. So I wanted to make a mention of that because it looks pretty as a finishing powder. So this is the Bath and Body collection, and like I said before, I think it's the cutest touch when it says for Tara. It says Bath and Body collection, your routine reimagined. It says new on here too, so I know Laura Mercier does bath products, so it's either a new scent or new products altogether. Yeah, it's the Neroli de Sud fragrance in there, and again, I love a neroli. So you've got the Eau de Parfum, which again is Neroli de Sud, and this is a 1.7 fluid ounce bottle. It's just a cute, simple, like clean looking bottle of neroli, and this lasts pretty decent for me. I initially thought, because it's kind of like in a body range, that it would be a bit like lighter, but I can smell it for a good amount of the day, and I just put like 4 spritzes on. So I'm really happy to have a neroli. The only other one that I have is by Jo Malone, and the Jo Malone really lasts well too. So I'm really happy to have another neroli. There's something really fresh mixed in with the neroli that I really like. Let's put a little bit more on. Oh, so good. And I haven't tried the other products just yet because I've got so many like skincare body products open. So this is going to be an exciting one because I love an exfoliating body wash or something with some bits in it. So this is again, the same fragrance Neroli de Sud exfoliating body wash. 7.5 ounces of product. And this is a squeezy tube with a flip top cap, which is kind of my favorite mechanism. Right there. Oh, I'm excited. Should I open it? I've got one open in the shower. It's not scented in neroli though. I think I'm going to leave this out and use it tonight. And then there is the Aromatic Bath and Body Oil, same scent, the neroli, 100 milliliter, 3.3 fluid ounce right there. And this is, again, I said a body oil. It's a screw top lid, so this is what the top of the bottle looks like right there. And what I'll probably do with this, because it is the summertime, my shins get really dry, and then the back of my hands and my arms get really dry because I do put sunscreen on them. And for whatever reason, sunscreen kind of dries my skin out. It's bizarre. So at night, it might be nice to put this on. I'm one of those people who don't like on the rest of my body. I can do arms, hands, and my shins if they're dry, but I'm somebody who doesn't like to go to bed with stuff on the rest of my body. Oh, this one's exciting. You know what? That's probably what I'm going to do. I'll put this on first and then put a little bit of the body oil over the top to try to seal in, because again, my hands have really been dry. I thought kind of going into spring, summer here, especially it's been quite humid here, that my skin wouldn't be this dry. But again, I've been putting sunscreen on the back of my hands, so maybe that's part of it. But this is the Neroli de Sud Soufflé Hand Cream, 1.5 fluid ounces in this guy. And this is what this bottle looks like right here. So if I use this on the back of my hands, I can top it with the oil to try to seal that in there. And then we've got the Serum Body Cream. This is a 6.5 ounce, 200 milliliter. I think it's a jar. Yes, it is a jar right here. So I get jars of body creams like this. And again, in the wintertime, shins, and then I'll put it on my arms and my hands, and I use the body creams like that too. I don't know what it is, but I couldn't grab some of this and rub it on my stomach or anything like that. It's a personal thing, I'm sure. But I do like to use a thicker type of cream on my arms as well. So I want to open this up. Let's see how kind of strong the scent and thick it looks. Oh, it's a thick guy. And I've heard from watching other videos where people have the Laura Mercier body products that they really like the creams because they're nice and thick and rich. You know what? I need to put some of this on my hands right now. They're so dry. It comes with a nice stopper there. Oh, I'm gonna make a mess. I was trying not to stain that really pretty bottle. It's got that kind of slight matte texture to it, which would grab all this shadow that I've got all over the place. Oh, that smells good. If you like a neroli, these are really pretty. I'll have to put the formulas to the test when I use them and stuff, but beautiful, beautiful scent. I'm just tickled about those products. It's the perfect scent going into the summertime too. I just love it. It makes me think of beachy and lake and fun things. I remember when I sprayed that, I like used the whole vial of that Tom Ford Neroli Portofino. It was like in July or something, so that's maybe why it really reminds me of summer like a Neroli does. And I love the scent of Tom Ford Neroli Portofino, but man, it just dissipated so quickly for how much I put on. So I didn't end up buying the perfume. And a massive thank you to Laura Mercier for sending over their latest body collection. And that is everything that I have for my haul today. I need to get outside. It's beautiful outside. It's like a good 70, like there's no wind. I need to be doing some things with some horses out there. So as soon as I wrap this up, that's what I'm going to do. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Thank you for watching. Do not forget to wear sunscreen, and I will see you guys later. Bye.